one thing, and I said this before, the same thing about, our players, our staff.
Make sure it goes out here.
This is my family. And I worry about each and every one of them.
Just go that way.
As Davey said, this team is his family. He looks
Let's
out for
see
every
here.
single one of
Right,
his players in the
second.
clubhouse. Now, as for Juan
Make
Soto,
sure
the
everything
Nationals
is
speak
good.
negative today. They're still waiting on one more negative test for Soto.
Okay, all right, we're good. So YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here with another live stream, and we're back with our weekly live stream, and it's a different setup, but he's still here. The grind doesn't stop, you know what I'm saying? And this week we have a lot to talk about. Literally, it seems like every week. Last week I said we had a lot to talk about, and it seems like every week we have a lot to talk about here. So you know who I am. Let him introduce himself. Well, you guys already know who it is, but you know how we got to go through the weekly. So you know me, you know him, but we're gonna let him introduce himself for the new people out there.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Sanchez 405 from On the Warpath. Y'all know me. I am actually on the road. I am in Kansas City, Missouri, because I had to go and finalize Pat Mahomes' contract for him. So I'm out here in the Midwest where it's nothing but flat, pastiness, and a whole bunch of corn. So yeah, but y'all know how I do it. I used to talk about the Washington Redskins, but now I talk about the Washington football team and all that good stuff. But yeah, subscribe to me. You search On the Warpath. I should come up right there. And yeah, but as always, I appreciate Juan having me on here and us talking about the Skins and I'm gonna have to start putting a quarter in the jar every time I say Skins or Redskins. Now we talk about the DMV sports as well. So yeah, as always, I'm pleased to be on here.
Yeah, definitely for sure. And I'm glad to have you every time because, quite frankly, without you, I would get bored streaming because I don't like streaming by myself. So yeah. With that being said, we're gonna kick We're gonna kick it off with just the meat of the live stream. We're not gonna hold nothing back. We know what the biggest. I would say, a headline from this past week was Alex Smith getting cleared to play football in 2020. So before we even, talk about the whole camp battle and stuff like that, we just got to get hats off to Alex Smith, man. Just really him coming back from an injury like that is just crazy, man. Honestly, if I was him, I would have been got my leg amputated, but he just had a drive, man. You know what I'm saying? From a near death experience to possibly playing football again. Hopefully not for the Redskins or the Washington football team. I'm sorry to say, but I really hope it's not for here. But if you really want to play football again, congrats, bro. And I'm really happy for you. And I'm pretty sure on the Warpath feels the same about that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great story about Alex Smith, and what he's been able to do. I think people are reading a little too much into this. Ron Rivera has given Dwayne the green light, and that's what people are failing to realize. Like, he is the starter, even though he traded for his boy Kyle Allen. He said Dwayne is doing everything that he can to be the starter for this football team in 2020. It's a feel good story. It's a story that actually something positive that's coming out of this team. I don't think it's threatening to Dwayne Haskins in any sense. It's as threatening as he makes it. So if he just brushes off and just sees Alex as a mentor and a resource for him, which I think that's what it's going to be, somebody that can just push him but not threaten his position, I think he's going to be good. We saw that a lot with Kirk Cousins. He was awful it wasn't really that good as a backup to RG3. But once he finally had the green light from that coach that was prior to Ron Rivera, who shall remain nameless, I call him Tag Team and Jay. And once he had that green light, he played average to above average football, and because he didn't have to look behind his back. I don't think we're going to see this out of Alex Smith and Dwayne Haskins. I think that this is going to be good for the both of them. He can get out there, be active again. But I mean, come on, boys and girls. if you look at his leg, it is significantly smaller than his other legs. So there's a lot of buildup he's going to have to do to even because people are going to come after it. These guys are dogs like in the NFL. If they know your weakness, they're going to go after it.
Yeah, man, definitely for sure. And as you seen right there, I had my hands on my face just because I had the Nationals in the background, and Adam Eaton was fighting the sun, and he dropped the easy fly out. But we're gonna get to some of these comments here. We have Gunner in there says, "Yo, what's up?" HTTR 445 says, "What's up?" We have Dwayne Haskins in here, and he says Smith can barely run. I doubt he'll have much playing time, if any. Franklin Walker says, "Juan here to support the channel. Let's get it." And then he donates. Shout out to Franklin for the donation, $5 donation. And then AM Hunter says, "Yo, Juan G, yo Sanchez, where you heading, homie?"
Yeah, well, I'm actually in my destination right now, so I had to come out. So on my live, some of y'all were on my live last Thursday, and my father, my birth father, he is in not good health, and it didn't look like it was going to be good for a little while. So my fiance and I, we made a 12 and a half, 13-hour drive from where I live at in Virginia to Kansas City, the Kansas City area, and yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. But it's been pretty fun. It's been a fun drive, good bonding with the missus and everything. So I can't really complain about that. And he's like his health is getting better, so he finally is eating solid food, so that's good.
Yeah, definitely for sure. And I'm sorry to hear that. I hope everything goes well. And I'll keep him in my prayers as everyone should. But let's get back to business here. We have
Yeah.
Gunnar here says, "Happy for Alex Smith, but honestly, I hope he'll never seize the field again unless it's on a ceremony snap in the game." And that's what I'm saying. Shout out to the Dove family, says, "What's up?" AM Hunter also with the donation, $3 super chat. Shout out to AM Hunter, man. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. And Clover says, "I really do think Ron is going to let them compete." And like I said, and he also said prayers for Pops too. Yes,
Thanks,
sir,
Clover.
prayers. But yeah, definitely for sure. Like I'm saying, I'm not shying away from competition. Don't let that don't let that fool you. It's just I don't think it's smart for Alex Smith to play. I'm Alex Smith. I know he has something else to prove because he has that personal drive. But dude, I'm making millions of dollars sitting on my behind. I'm making millions of dollars. Why would I risk, and almost coming off a near-death injury, why would I risk getting hurt again? That's just me, though. But Alex Smith clearly has something else. I say cut him, trade him, whatever you got to do. Just I don't think he needs to be on here no more. I think best situation, like you said, was for him to be a mentor to Dwayne. But I don't see him being a starter on this team anymore. I don't think it's the smartest decision because how do we even know that he can play football good still after 2 years or damn near 2 years of missing action? You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
with that being said, I don't see the bright side of him starting. Yes, he had a 6-3, but like who knows how that season would have panned out? You know what I'm saying? So that's just my take on it. We're gonna get more deep into this whole situation here, but I'm gonna let you give your piece on it. Do you want Alex Smith to start, or like how do you see it panning out?
Yeah, I think it's just pointless to have him start. Um, you got two capable quarterbacks right now. Kyle Allen, who really had Carolina in the thick of things before the kind of bottom fell out there. They were 5-7, 5-6 coming in that game against Washington without Cam Newton. And then you've got Dwayne, who has gotten better with every game. And I said this last night on Skins or Burgundy and Gold fans all day. I said on his last night, I was like, if Dwayne Haskins doesn't get hurt in that Giants game, we're not talking about having Chase Young because they would have won that game. And I'm confident in that, just the ability that he had to get them in the game. Case Keenum kind of played mop up there, but Dwayne was doing his thing. So, I mean, kudos to Alex Smith. I just don't, he hasn't competed in, like you said, almost 2 years. He's 36, 37. So, he's at the end of his career. but I'm never going to tell a man that you shouldn't go out there and compete, because that's just human nature, is the ability to compete and to prove people and doubters wrong. But sometimes it's not doubt when you're looking at it logically, and I think he's got to look at it logically so he can be there for his kids and be there for his wife. Who, shout out to Elizabeth Smith, she is the ultimate ride or die partner, woman, whatever you want to call her, because she was there with her man from the jump, and I think she's the reason that he is in the shape that he is in now, and he didn't go down a different path just because of her commitment and her ability. Like, that's squad goals right there.
Yeah, definitely for sure, man. Honestly, she really did, and then the E60 Project 11 really let us in on a personal level with this whole
Mm-hmm.
injury, man. And I like I said, don't get me wrong, I'm really happy for him, but I just don't think the smartest thing for this team in the future would for Alex Smith to be the starter. I said this in my video earlier that I made. Would you want to have one miracle year of this year being this year and make it to the Super Bowl and win, or would you suffer somewhere in this year, maybe next year, but be a team like the Chiefs, Seahawks, and Ravens that are in the mix every single year? And I'm saying a miracle year because we don't even know if Alex Smith get the start this year. Who's to say that he's gonna be good how he used to be? So I'm all for just starting Haskins and letting him, build his way up and build the foundation of him being an NFL quarterback. And because if you don't start him, it's just gonna mess up his growth and what he's already done
Right.
in the NFL. So with that being said, I think I laid my case about this, and I know how I think a lot of people understand how I feel with the whole Alex Smith and Dwayne Haskins thing, and a lot of people are forgetting about Kyle Allen. But I just don't. I just think Alex Smith isn't as talented as Dwayne Haskins. Yes, he's a smarter quarterback than Dwayne, I guess, in a way. But I just don't think it would be smart for them to start Alex Smith.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's not. I mean, they get the people get tied up on that $20 million tag. Uh, After next year, I think they can cut him without any repercussions. So that might be it. And I think, and this is one thing about Dan Snyder that is probably good. I feel like anything that has been like devastating to a player, he feels an obligation to take care of that player. You look at Robert Royal when during Hurricane Katrina, he sent his jet out there to help bring his family up with him. You look at a lot of people don't know this about Brian Schottenheimer. Had a scare of cancer when he was with the Redskins in 2001, and basically Dan helped them. I think he might have paid for some of the procedures as well out of his own pocket. So I think he feels like he owes it to Alex Smith to make sure he gets paid by any means necessary. So I think that's good in that regard. So but I just don't think he should be playing ball anymore. I think at times you need to go look into broadcasting. I heard the Redskins have shoot. I heard the football team has a lot of openings on their radio broadcast, so maybe Alex can hop in there.
It's gonna be tough. Hey, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. It's gonna be tough to keep saying the Redskins. It's about like, hey, it's gonna take some time. It's gonna take some time. But we do have, like you said, I think he should just be a quarterbacks coach. And I'm not saying he can play football, just not for the Washington football team because you're just ruining our quarterback. It's a reason why they didn't take Tua Tagovailoa. It's a reason why they didn't sign Cam Newton free agency. Ron Rivera literally came out and said it himself, and he said Dwayne Haskins' growth is the reason why we didn't go out and sign Cam Newton. So it's clear that Ron Rivera likes what he sees in Dwayne Haskins, and I think it just would be dumb for people to see that this is a let's go. Oh my bad. Eric Thames just hit a double. Bases are loaded. Yeah, did the run come in? Oh no, that was Victor Robles. Okay, Victor Robles. Bases are loaded. Okay, Victor Robles. Bottom of the second, bases are loaded. 1-0 is Toronto Blue Jays. Okay, my bad. I got a little sidetrack, but nah, but like I was saying though, I think that he should just if he wants to play football, personally, he should know in his mind that this isn't his team anymore. He should know I gotta go somewhere else. So if you gotta sit down with Daniel Snyder and say, "Hey, release me, cut me, whatever you gotta do, but let me go somewhere else because I know another team is gonna want me and give me a chance to compete for a spot," hey, let me go. But I don't know why people honestly believe that he can beat out Haskins. They said a healthy Alex Smith can beat out Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah, a healthy Alex Smith before he got hurt. That's the thing. Like, it, you look at this, right? Alex Smith has put forward like the body of work to help quarterbacks reach the next level. You look at Kaepernick in San Francisco. You look at Mahomes. Like they
Mm-hmm.
learned from this guy, and
Right,
they played decent ball. One of them played out of their mind, and they both were able to reach Super Bowls in the wake of Alex Smith. So
right.
I look at what he could probably do for Dwayne Haskins or Kyle Allen or something like that. So like you said, it's a mood point. I think that we have um, a competent staff that's not going to be like, oh, this guy is going to need to go out there and start. If you want to put him in a preseason, oh, that's right, we don't have preseason games this year. But if we did, maybe put him out there in the fourth preseason game and let him run around for a little bit, throw the ball, and he would get a standing O. But to this point, it's just like, Alex, you got to go, bro, fam.
Right, yeah, definitely for sure. And I would love to keep him around as a quarterback because, like you said, they learn from him. He's a
Right.
really good teacher, but I just feel as though that the injury was just too significant for you to risk playing again. I don't think you need to. And this is just not being as far as a Redskins fan or a Washington football fan and just don't want you to play for their team. This is about your health. His wife literally has been doing a good job, but she should be in his ear telling him, "Hey, I don't think it's a smart idea for you to play." But of course, she's gonna want to let her husband overcome what he had became. You know what I'm saying? So let's get to these comments here. My boy, Suburban Cowboy says, if Smith does move on to another team, that team better have a good offensive line. Otherwise, he will not last long. He also says Alex Smith was a good game manager. He didn't light it up. He got us this ugly 6-3. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 6-3 is good, but he didn't do anything spectacular. So you telling me Dwayne Haskins cannot be a game manager? That's what people are telling. That's what they're trying to sit here and tell me. Then, if that's basically
Yeah.
what you're saying, Alex Smith should start. He was a good game manager. You telling me Dwayne Haskins can't sit here and get us to an ugly 6-3, win healthy? Come on,
Right.
dude. Like, so
Exactly.
I just don't see why people still want Haskins to start, or rather, Alex Smith. I want Haskins to start, but Alex Smith. So, with that being said, we're gonna move on to another topic that I had wanted to talk about here was So we have Darius guys coming back. He got cleared to play this year, just not too long ago. Reuben Foster coming back. I made a video about this earlier. You don't have to pick those two, but those are just my two. Who would you put out there? Probably Alex Smith if he does get to start. Who do you think will win comeback player of the year for this team? I said honestly for the league, I said I would love it to be Reuben Foster as the award at NFL Honors. But if you want to say league, you can say league. But if you want to go just as far as the Washington football team engine, who would you pick to win comeback player of the year?
Well, if we're talking straight up, like we're talking burgundy and gold, I think that it would. I think it would be Geis, and the only reason I say Geis is Geis hasn't really done anything that quote unquote is questionable behavior. And I'm not knocking Reuben Foster. I'm just thinking in the eyes of in the NFL. That's the only thing. Don't think I'm holding this against him. But the NFL is about having a clean image and everything. And Reuben, in the eyes of the NFL, and some folks doesn't have a clean image. Darius Geis, he's got a cleaner image. He's not perfect, but he I think he would have, as far as burgundy and gold, would be a candidate for them. If we're talking about somebody in the NFL that would probably be comeback player of the year, if he stays healthy, because he quietly always puts up numbers, I would say Matt Stafford. just because
Mhm.
of his numbers and his production. And if he can get the Lions to a serviceable record, I think that's somebody you might want to look at as your comeback player of the year. I can't. I mean, I don't know who else had like really a devastating injury or didn't play a lot this year. You
Well,
know,
I'm not sure about that. That's why I was saying as far as like Redskins or Washington players, if you had to, if they asked you, like you personally, to put, because say, or they asked all 32 fan bases to put one player out there as a nominee for, NFL player or NFL comeback player of the year, who would you pick? So you said Geis, and I also said Geis too, because I honestly believe if this guy can stay healthy, he literally will be right up there with the Ezekiel Elliott's, the Nick Chubbs, the Christian McCaffreys, the Saquon Barkley of the world. I really believe that he could really be a top 5 running back in this league if he can stay healthy.
right?
Like that's all I'm saying here, because we know he has that dog in him. He's not in my opinion. You can tell me if I'm wrong or how you feel about this too, but I just feel as though that Darius Geis is that kind of running back. He's like a Barry Sanders. He's not gonna last long, but he's just gonna make a short, impactful career. And the reason why I say he's gonna last long is just because of how his style of running. He likes to initiate that contact, and we know running backs take the most damage on the field, whether you're running, getting tackled every time, whether you're blocking a 300-pound lineman trying to stop them from sacking your quarterback. You're always getting hit at the running back position. So I really believe that Derrick Henry's going to have a short, maybe 9, 10 year career, but also possibly have that Adrian Peterson career. You know what I'm saying, as far as the longevity goes. But the more like the more realistic option is 9, 10 years of having a great career, because he has that potential.
Yeah, no, yeah, I think that guys has the ability. I mean, even with Barry Sanders didn't have an offensive line. That was the thing with him. He probably could have played for another 3 or 4 years, but he just didn't have a quarterback or an offensive line that were effective. So
Mhm.
and then like you talk about. I hate to go back on this, but Gunner said something that was pretty funny, and I thought in there, and I think he was in my head when he's saying about Alex Smith. He's like, "Who cares about spectacular if you're 6-3?" I agree 110% with that one. I don't care if you're god awful. If we're 6-3, hey man, do your thing. But anyway, that's beside the point. Yeah, but
Mhm.
it's like you said, Juan. Um, that running style, it might not be premium in the NFL right now, just because you can be in. It's more leading to injury proneness and everything like that. So that's what I say. If guys can stay healthy, I think he's it. For this team, and I think if the Lions do well, if they can sneak up, I think that Matt Stafford could be the comeback player of the year in the NFL. So yeah.
Right, yeah, definitely for sure. And I wanted to talk about the receivers, the receiving core, because we're so thin at the receiving core. We know we lost Kelvin Harmon for the year due to a torn ACL. We know we lost Emmanuel Hall. We just released him, and then
Right.
not too long ago, earlier, Cody Lattimore has been placed on the commissioner's exempt list. So we're so thin at wide receiver position. Do you now pull the trigger to go get a veteran free agent, or do you roll into the season/camp with Antonio Gandy Gold and with Terry McLaurin, with Steven Sims, and with Cam Sims, Darvin Kizzy? I have two sides to this. I say go get a veteran, but if you're not, move up Cam Sims and move up Darvin Kizzy, because those guys are really good and they have not been able to get their shot, and maybe more so Darvin Kizzy, because we did give Cam Sims his shot in a way, and he kind of plumaged, but they still weren't able to give their full shot. So I say maybe bring them up if you want to, but the safer side for them probably would to go get a veteran. So what do you feel about that whole Cody Latimer situation? And then what would you go, veteran or bring up?
Um, I think at this point you're probably gonna have to go and kick the tires on a veteran. Who it is, I mean, if you want a big brand name, I'd say go after Josh Gordon. But they're veteran wide receivers who have done more in scattered over their career than a Josh Gordon. I could, just because of the fact that he works with that he worked with Scott Turner in Cleveland. But we have some guys there, like you said, that are that we just haven't seen a lot of. I mean, Kitsy, he's been on the team for like 2 seasons, and he's not going to show us anything now. He probably isn't going to show us anything. Cam Sims, I think his name and where he played ball at in college was bigger than his actual play. Because he went to Alabama, I think that's why people fell in love with him. And I hate to say it, boys and girls, and y'all might get mad at me, and you can yell at crowd. I think that Trey Quinn will survive cuts now.
Mm-hmm.
I think that and y'all know how I feel about Trey Quinn, but I think he may survive the cuts.
Yeah, definitely.
At this point now, so y'all better get ready for it. Just hug your family members close, because Trey Quinn probably is going to make this team. We did get 2 wide receivers. We did have those undrafted guys as well too. So we'll see.
Yeah.
If I think Johnson, and I think it was another one.
Isaiah Wright.
Yeah, Isaiah Wright. So that maybe they see something in those 2 cats as well too. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing what AGG can do. They knock on him because he went to Liberty. They don't play competition like the Division I schools do. But at the end of the day, we'll see. You got to play it out. You got to practice. You're going to have to hash this all out, and we're going to see ugly football if the season starts on time. We will see ugly football for about 5 to 6 weeks. Just get ready for it.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And I honestly forgot about Isaiah Wright, Johnson, Trey Quinn. Honestly, I did. I'm not even gonna lie. But yeah, I really do think for the whole NFL it's gonna be sloppy football. But more specifically for us, it really is. But I just believe that we need to go out and get a veteran. You know what I'm saying? Somebody, if not a big name veteran, just somebody that can show the guys the ropes. You know what I'm saying? Because we're really, really, really thin at wide receivers now, man, honestly. And Terry McLaurin, we can't burn him out. We can't burn him out. We need him. So we need him to get some help. And I know we're relying on AGG to be that help, but say AGG gets burnt out, you don't want to burn him out either. So we need depth at receivers. So that's probably, and I know it's probably a little too early to talk about this, but I think that's where we need to attack in the draft, first round. Maybe that and cornerback. I'm more so leaning more towards cornerback, but if the wide receiving core is going to be this bad as far as health wise, and I know we're going to get those guys back next year, but I think that we just need another receiver.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think we need another number 1 target. And corners hit or miss with this team. I think we have a lot of potential there, but it's the boom or bust position on the team. I think these corners could be really good. Like your Ronald Darby, I think he could be good, and then I think he could be awful. Like just because of his capabilities, but his potential where he was drafted at. I think he could be all right. Fabian Monroe, we're still waiting on him. I feel like a kid waiting on Santa Claus to come on Christmas, waiting to see what Fabian Monroe's going to do, because it's just like, it seems like we just keep on getting coal every year, but I'm ready to get my Xbox from this cat now. So, or PlayStation. I don't know, but yeah, the corner, I don't know. I'd rather see wide receivers come here, because we haven't had that big wide receiving threat. I want a physical wide receiver more than anything, like in the veins of a DK Metcalf, because we haven't had that. I can't think of any time that we've had a threat that was just big, physical, that get up and I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I was trying to think. You can finish.
You're gonna have to think a long way. We've drafted cats like that, but like your Malcolm Kelly's, and he was a scrub. He was a certified scrub, and that we haven't had that. We need a guy that's a red zone threat. We thought Josh Doctson was going to be that. And what
Right.
was he? A scrub. That's all he was. He's a certified bum. So, I don't know, man. Like, we need to get that. We need to hit on a big old wide receiver. Like, if they are in the veins of a DK Metcalf, I think we could be, this team could be something special. You need a wide receiver with orbit.
Yeah, definitely. And so you wouldn't say Pierre Garcon was a physical receiver?
No, I mean, I don't think he was a physical receiver. Like, he was average body receiver. He was aggressive, don't get me wrong. But, like, he's not, when I think of, like, get up and go and physical or catch hands with a defender, I don't think it's Pierre in that vein.
Mm-hmm.
He was good. Deshaun Jackson, he was a speed threat. He was that we've had a lot of speed threats like your Santana Mosses and your Deshaun Jacksons, but we just haven't had that big guy, that 6'5" wide receiver who's got his own 6'3" wide receiver that's got his own orbit when he catches the ball, and that's what I'm talking. That's where I'm more alluding to.
Yeah, and I believe that AGG could be there for us.
Mm-hmm.
6'5", and we have receivers on the roster. Cam Sims, 6'5", like that. But I understand you want somebody that's going to be already coming here and not have to work up to being that. You want him to
I
already
want to
come in
prove,
here.
yes.
Yeah,
I
I
want to prove he
understand
can.
that. Yeah, and I believe AGG can be there. I just feel like that he's being slept on because he went to schools like Liberty and stuff like that. But I feel as though corner would be more the route to go, just because we know that we at least got a weapon in Terry McLaurin. We at least got a weapon in Stevenson. But cornerback, I don't know. Outside of Kendall Fuller and Fabian Monroe, who else do we have? Because I believe Fabian Monroe is proven enough from, in my opinion, because you move him to outside. He had 4 picks in 2 games. You put him in a slot, he gets demolished. So I think that we need one more corner. Fabian can slide to the 2, and we have that shutdown corner. That shutdown corner that we can have him on an island by himself, and we know he's gonna get the job done. We was hoping that was gonna be Quinn Dunbar, but he got put on the list. And that's one thing I want to talk about too, that we could both get a laugh out of and a little bit. But we're gonna finish talking about the cornerbacks and the wide receivers here for a second. I think that the smarter decision was to draft a cornerback in the early rounds, first maybe second round, and then we have an extra pick from the trade from Quinn Dunbar and Trent Williams. So we're kind of loaded on draft picks if you think about it. So yeah, I really believe that we need to go cornerback in a way. But I wanted to talk about that Quinn Dunbar, and it's funny that I brought that up. Today he also got put on the list of, I think it was Commissioner's Exempt list, and people were saying that we finessed the Seahawks out of a 5th round pick. I think it was. I think it was a 5th round
Yeah.
pick. So how do you feel? Do you think we finessed them, or are you still iffy about it? I think I can get a laugh out of it.
So I'm going to be honest with everybody. Have you not seen what's happening to this team in the last month of July? We haven't finessed anybody on anything. I mean, yeah, we got value out of Quentin Dunbar, but at the end of the day, this franchise has been thrown through the dirt so much in the last 3 weeks. I can't even laugh at it, man. I really can't, because you know what I honestly think in the back of my head is that we probably knew about this internally, and we helped foster that behavior in Quentin Dunbar. I hope he gets, like, I hope the law takes its course and everything. If he didn't do anything, that's fine. But I mean, I've heard some dirty things that they've done. Apparently they were trying to pay off allegedly they were paying off witnesses so they wouldn't testify to the cops and everything. So I mean, there's a lot more into it, and just because you make millions of dollars a year doesn't mean you shouldn't suffer the same wrath you or me if we did something like that. So, I don't know. I can't laugh at the brother in that situation, just because it's just, and I know you're not laughing at him in that situation. You're just, we just spitball. We need something good to happen for the burgundy and gold, and it just hasn't been going our way. But, it is what it is at the end of the day.
Right, yeah, and I wasn't saying laugh at him
Yeah.
for everybody that's gonna say that. I was saying more to the point of, do you think we finessed him out of the pick now that we can use that fifth round pick, that extra fifth round pick, and then they possibly can't even use Quinn Dunbar. That's what I was talking about.
Right,
Shout out
yeah.
to Tony Johnson. He says Alex Smith will not play in 2021. That's what I'm saying. But a lot of people feel that he's gonna start. I don't know why. But let's get to these comments. My boy Kevo Hayes. Shout out to Kevo Hayes. He says, my man Juan Gotti, what's up, bro? What's the word on Bryce Love, and will fans be able to go into training camp or not? I don't think fans are not going to be allowed to go to training camp, but they did come out with a statement. I think it was Tony Bateman or Jeff. Well, I don't know his name. I know it's Bateman something.
Terry Bateman.
Terry Bateman. Okay, Terry Bateman. That's what I said. Tony Jeff. He's actually been doing a decent job so far. But they did come out and say that fans will be allowed in the stadium in 2020 if Maryland allows it. So come on, Maryland, tone down on the cases. Everyone wears a mask because I know you guys want to enjoy some football. So they already came out and said if Maryland, the state Maryland allows fans or allows it, they will have fans in 2020. So I cannot wait because I really want to go to that Week 4 game versus the Ravens as they get a double play to end the inning, or 1-2, the end of the inning. So we're down 1-0. I know you guys don't care, but I still gonna commentate anyway. But so to answer your question, no, fans won't be in training camp, but they will be at the games this year, hopefully. So shout out to my boy Kevo. And then he says Kendall in the slot. And also he says Vivian Monroe has more to prove. This is O'Hara Johnson. Shout out to O'Hara. He says Vivian has more to prove. He got burnt in games. Yes, he did get burnt in games, but that's when he was in the slot. You seen what he did in the outside. You can't tell me he wasn't cooking the outside. 4 picks in the last 2 games. So you put him in the outside and let him do his due. We got him in 2017 from UCLA. So we know that his strong suit was always outside. So I don't even know why we stuck him in the slot to begin with. But I think he's finally starting to find his ground. What do you say about that?
Yeah. No, well, it's like I said earlier. I'm still waiting on him to bring me my PlayStation for Christmas, because it just seems like I'm getting cold and like little candy here and there. But I'm waiting for him to break out, and this is probably if I'm not mistaken, is he on a contract? Yeah, I think might be his contract year too, because I think they signed 4-year contracts. So he's probably in a contract year, and he's going to want to get paid. So I think we might see the best thing out of Fabian Monroe that we've seen since he's been in the burgundy and gold. So he's done good. And I saw what Kevo said too, and I can't believe because I'm such a fan of this guy, Jimmy Moreland. I think that brother's going to come out and ball out too, because Landon Collins said that that's one of the guys that he thinks is going to take the next biggest step for this defense. So I wouldn't sleep on JMU's finest right there.
Right, yeah, definitely for sure. Shout out to AM Hunter. He says, fellas, we can play Kendall Fuller in some safety packages and put Landon Collins in the box. Safety Sean Davis and Fuller out safeties in the package. What do you think? Yeah, definitely for sure. And that's what Kansas City used him at last year. They put him in the safety position, which he thrived at in a way. But I still feel as though that his strong suit is slot, and that's where he wasn't able to show his full potential in Kansas City, because they wanted to use him more towards the safety position. I say put him in the safety position sometimes, but let him work out where we paid him for. We paid him to play slot. My boy Suburban Cowboy says the 4-3 will improve out front 7. Chase Young hands in the dirt every play. Yeah, definitely for sure. And one thing about Chase Young, what he says he feels as though people are underestimating his drop back coverage, coveraging, I guess, in a way. So, and I'm gonna say it's not that we're underestimating it. We just don't want to see it, because we already had enough pain with Greg Manusky and Joe Barry doing that with Ryan Kerrigan. We need our DNs to go get that quarterback. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. Shout out to Nicholas Reynolds. He says, "What's up, fellas?" Shout out to Nicholas Reynolds. And we're gonna see what else they were talking about in the comment section before we move on to the next subject here. He says I was at the Bucks game week 2 before Alex got hurt, or 2 weeks before Alex got hurt. We somehow won that. Fitz put up 500 on us. We looked bad, but won. Yeah, definitely for sure. I remember that game. I never fell asleep on a Redskins game or a Washington game, but I really was dozing off. Actually, I take that back. The Panthers game that year where Alex Smith was the quarterback, I dozed off during that game, and I dozed off during the Bucks game because it was just so boring to watch. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I understand. I honestly feel you. And they also said Santana Moss as wide receiver coach.
I mean, I can see if Santana ever wanted to do something like that, which he does coach, I think, his kids. So that would be interesting.
Right, yeah, definitely, for sure. Suburban Cowboy says we basically have no clue how the team will perform until we see them play an actual game. Yeah, of
Yeah.
course, that's not, everything is a speculation. We're not genies. I promise you, if I was, I would have been told you what our record was going to be this 2020 season, and I would have made it be 16-0. But honestly, I don't have them powers, unfortunately. So yeah, we don't know. We're just talking and we're just speculating as we do as reporters and as Washington YouTubers. He says so many unknowns about the team. Just be competitive, and that's all I ask for. Thank you. All I want is you to be competitive and be in every game. If Dwayne Haskins is cooking and we still somehow lose and we go 3-13 again, but I know that it wasn't blowouts and I know that we were being competitive, I'm cool with that. We get another a high draft pick, and we draft another stud, and then the following year, that's where we take off. So I understand where you guys are coming from. We just want to be competitive, and that's what Ron Rivera was basically saying. Yeah, definitely. So, what else I want to talk about here? I'm gonna let you go on this first because I know you probably gonna have more to say than me. How do you feel about Caleb Brantley being the first player on the Redskins, I believe, to opt out of the 2020 season due to the COVID-19?
Oh God, man. See, you want me to give these honest answers, and I can't find a nice way to say it.
Hey, say how you want to.
Like, I'm like, who cares about Caleb Brantley to this point? Dude was on the inactive list how many times since he's gotten here? But everybody's like, oh, Caleb Brantley, he's really good. He's gonna show up. I've been waiting for him to show up. Where are you? And then you gonna opt out. Now I understand, you really can't question somebody's commitment in this thing. Maybe he has a weak immune system. I don't know, so I can't really say. But the fact that Caleb Brantley's not gonna play, it is what it is. I mean, it's just like if I don't know. If we talking about the Wizards and the 13th guy on the off the bench is like, say I'm not gonna play. Okay,
Right.
like, whoop-de-dee. Now, if you get to talk to me and say like Tress Way or Dustin Hopkins is going to opt out, then I'm going to have a problem with that. But to this point, I don't really care about it. Hey, I'd be even more upset if Nick Sundberg opted out.
Right.
Caleb Brantley, he is what he is, and I don't. There ain't no sweat off my back.
Right, yeah, definitely for sure. I was saying the same thing. I was like, he's hurting his career because you already don't get enough playing time, but you are opting out, which I mean I can understand, but you're opting out, which is gonna ruin your career. And it's just like, okay, I mean, hey, if like you said, if it was a big name like a Chase or a Dwayne or somebody that is important to this team, I would feel some type of way.
Right.
O'Hara Johnson says, "How long will it take for Chase Young to start, and when are we going to do with Ryan Kerrigan?" I'll let you answer that first. For the Chase Young, I think we can answer both.
Yeah.
For each other, it's going to take him no time to start. He's going to be out there week 1. But as far as the Ryan Kerrigan, what are we going to do with Ryan Kerrigan? I'll let you answer that first.
He gonna back up Chase Young. He gonna come out there. They'll design like we've got Jack Del Rio and this defensive staff that's put together. So I imagine Jack Del Rio, Ron Rivera, and Sam Fields III going to get together, and they're going to design packages where they have Ryan Kerrigan out there, whether it's like on like first or second down or something on second down or something like that. I think he's going to be here. Like I do think he's going to be here at least for this season, and they're going to design it because this is the first time he is able to play his natural position of defensive end in a 43 defense. He's been and I don't care what anybody says, he's been great. He's been good to above average, but he's been the most misused player in the National Football League. He has been out of position ever since he came to Washington, and nobody has realized it. It's taken you 3 defensive coordinators to realize that this cat, or 4 now with Jack Del Rio, that this cat was out of position. It makes no sense. Like,
Yeah, definitely for sure. And not breaking news, but I'm pretty sure we already expected this. Washington has placed linebacker Reuben Foster and quarterback Alex Smith on the PUP list per Tom Pelissero. Both of these were pretty much expected, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I really hope he can at least come off by week 3, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how long it's gonna take, but he suffered this injury in 2000 at the beginning of last year. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird for Reuben Foster, but and when you're on the pup list, I think you have until week 6, and you either have to come off of it or you go on IR. So that'll be telling. And like I'm thinking too, I told y'all this before. I don't see the season starting on time in September. I think at the earliest it'll be October. Just because I think there's a lot of things that are going to happen between that. Like you're looking at baseball right now with the Marlins and their situation. I mean, it's been shoddy at best. They're going to have to cancel some of these series, and so that cuts their opportunities down. And baseball is a non-contact sport. So how are we going to do this with a contact sport? It's crazy, man. I guess you're going to follow a model kind of like what basketball and stuff are doing.
Yeah, definitely for sure. Yeah, and that's gonna have to be Cole Holcomb and the everyone else have to step up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not happy that he's on the PUP list, but I'm happy it happened to the linebacker group because the linebacker group is so stacked, so we don't really have to be affected by this.
Yeah.
So Suburban Cowboy says Sweat and Chase Young should only have one responsibility: kill the quarterback and strip sack, no dropping ball, backing coverage, like GS, like we with the 4-3.
Mm-hmm. What you say there? Hold on, real quick. Okay. Yeah, just go after them. Go after them like a bunch of dogs. That's what you got to do. In that 34, that's why you get these guys sacks. That's what you're going after, and they're gonna take down these guys. That's what we need. We need pass rushers. Montez, Chase, Young, Sweat, as I've been calling them. They're gonna go after it and they're gonna get it too. So watch out, y'all. Watch out.
Yeah, definitely for sure. And I don't understand. I don't know how. I don't know because I really want Ryan Kerrigan to play, but I feel as though that would it be smarter if he doesn't take a pay cut to just let him go, or would it just what to do with him? Because I know we want him to retire as a Redskin, but let's just hypothetically say, because we know Ryan Kerrigan isn't that type of person to do something like that, but let's just hypothetically say that he is gonna be that person that doesn't want to take a pay cut. What would you personally do with him?
I mean, he's giving so much to your franchise, so you got to tread lightly with that.
Mm-hmm.
I think at the end of the day, you're gonna have to work, and I think you keep him here just for this year, and maybe if you can't work something out, you got to cut him. Like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that is.
Yeah, definitely for sure. And as this was a quick stream, but
Yeah.
it's kind of 50 minutes, and we usually go an hour here, so we have a couple more minutes left. It was a quick stream because when you're in a good conversation, an hour blows by.
Right.
So I'm sorry, but it's getting down to the wire. 10 minutes left. As Suburban Cowboy says, Chase Young will draw double teams, can free up Matt Ioannidis and Deron Payne.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely for shizzle. That's yeah, that's gonna do that. And like the one thing you're gonna see is those sack numbers are gonna go down for them.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not gonna cut their effectiveness now. If you can get like 10 combined sacks between the two of those guys, that's a successful season for interior linemen in a 43. So.
Right, yeah, definitely for sure. And what I wanted to ask you was what is your season or should I say stat prediction for the whole defensive line?
Let's go double nickel. I'll go 55 sacks.
50.
Well, that's for the defense. That's for the defense overall. So
Oh, okay.
maybe
I was talking as far as about like the starters, one by one for the
okay.
front
So
seven.
15, 10. We'll say 40. How about that?
Okay. Yeah,
40.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, 40. That's reasonable. 35, 40, somewhere around there. So I would start it off, I guess I would say, because I'm gonna talk about like one by one as far as the front seven goes. So I'm gonna start it off with Chase Young. I'm gonna say since he's gonna draw a lot of double teams, maybe 7, 8 sacks, only because he's gonna draw a lot of double teams. But if he doesn't draw a lot of double teams, which I'm pretty sure that's not gonna happen, but if somehow he doesn't, I would say around the 10, 11 range for sacks. And then for Montez Sweat, I'm gonna think he leads into the team in sacks just because Chase Young is gonna have so much attention. So I say that Montez Sweat has 13, maybe.
Yeah.
13. Big Safety slides home to get a run on the board. But yeah. So Montez Sweat, Ryan Kerrigan, or not Ryan Kerrigan rather, but Chase Young, we have them out there 11, 13, maybe around there. Then we have Deron Payne, who's the best run stuffer on this team, in my opinion, outside of Marianitis. Maybe 6, 5.
He'll have 3 or 4. I don't think he'll have that many. I just
I'm thinking maybe a 3-5 range, maybe.
Right.
But that's tough. John Allen, what do you say? I think 7 for John Allen. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yeah, 6 or 7 for John Allen. Probably 8 for Ioannidis, and then shoot, who else we got on there? Kerrigan. Let's give 5. Let's give 5 to Ryan, and then maybe that might get me to my math number.
Well, yeah, definitely, because I don't know. It's tricky for John Allen because John Allen he wants to get paid this year.
Right.
So I don't know how he's going to perform. He could really overperform what we're expecting him to do. So maybe I say 7, but he could very well do more than 7.
Yeah, I mean that's a possibility. Yeah.
Right, yeah, definitely for sure. And Suburban Gaming or Suburban Cowboy rather says you might want to move Chase Young around because to cause confusion. And I think that's what they're gonna do. That's what I think they're gonna do.
He's a chess piece. That's it. On that line, he's gonna be a chess piece. So yeah, I think it's gonna be dynamic to see him out there and whatever he can do because he's gonna wreak havoc. So yeah.
Absolutely. Right, yeah, definitely. And before we get out of here, I wanted to say what I wanted you to just talk to and give your opinion. What do you think? What are you expecting? What do you think for both? What is your expectations and what do you think for both Jack Del Rio and Scott Turner? But yeah, I guess
I
you
think.
could start with my bad for cutting you off, but I guess
Oh
you
no,
could
you're
start
good.
with Scott Turner and then go to the defensive side.
Scott Turner, I think you're going to see this offense grow as the year goes on. I think it's going to start off slow. There's going to be struggles. There's going to be bumps in the road, just because you got a second-year quarterback learning a new system. You've got young wide receivers. You've got an aging running back starting, and then you've got a couple of young running backs that you can sprinkle in there. Your tight end situation is still a question mark. Your offensive line I think is in better shape than most people think, but there's still a lot to be desired there. So, Scott, I could see this defense being in the mid to lower half. The offense could be in the mid to lower half of the league, just on those variables right there.
Yeah, definitely for sure. And did you talk about the defensive side?
Yeah, okay. And so with Jack Del Rio, I think this defense is gonna. I think this defense could start out really hot, and be like a top 15 defense. You know, the secondary is a question there, but you do have Landon Collins. You've got Sean Davis coming in there. You've got these corners that are young and that can make a difference. Our linebackers I think any of those guys that are right now on the roster could start. And then that defensive line is A1. So, dude, I think you got a top 15 defense right there. At the worst, a top 15 defense could be a top 10 one.
Yeah, definitely for sure. And before we get out of here, I'm gonna give my 2 cents on both sides, and then we're gonna call it a day. It was a good hour stream. Um,
Absolutely.
but first I'm gonna start with the offense, and what I'm expecting out of the offense is just a offense that's gonna start slow, maybe, and then find their way along the road. And then I have Haskins possibly throwing somewhere between 30 to 25, 35 touchdowns. But then again, I don't think it's gonna take long for them to get going because
Mm-hmm.
I have them having Haskins winning MVP.
There you go.
You know,
There you go.
I
I
always
know.
gotta get it in there. I
I know
always
you
gotta
do.
get it in there.
He better be
So,
throwing 45, 50 touchdowns if he's going to be MVP, man.
uh, I mean, does it really have to be that many?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
35? You say you don't think 35 could win it?
Nope. Don't think so. Not with these quarterbacks we're seeing now. No, sir.
Right, yeah, definitely. But more realistically, I say 35, maybe 20, 25, 35. But in my fanboy brain, I have him throwing somewhere between 40 to 50 touchdowns, and I have him winning MVP. But I don't think it's going to take them long to get the offense going, but I do think it's going to take a couple games. Maybe around week 4 when we play the Ravens is when they start clicking, and then that's when we want to take off. But as far as the defensive side, I think that potentially have a top 10 defense, maybe top 5 at the end of the season defense, led by that front seven, and I just cannot wait to see what they have. Oh, that was a nice catch. That was a nice catch. But yeah. So with that being said, I think that the defense is going to start out fast and really be explosive, and I think that by the end of the season they could possibly be top 5 defense in the NFL. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. Yeah, definitely for sure. So let's get to some of these comments before we get out of here. It says, "Peace and stay safe, homie." Juan Gotti and Sanchez, much love and blessings and stay safe.
Yeah.
And Suburban Gaming says he has Haskins throwing 40 plus touchdowns.
Dynamic. Yeah.
Think so? I think 35 and 45 could do it though. That's just me. I
I
think
don't know, bro.
because like I don't know if they take in consideration. Do they just look at touchdowns or do they look at other
Mm-hmm.
stats too? Because if they look at other stats, I think that he can light it up. Maybe the touchdown ratio and interception ratio, maybe 35, 8, 10 could win it.
I don't. I don't know, man. I don't
Because
know.
because how many touchdowns did Lamar throw last year?
Well, you gotta look at it too. I think he threw 35, and then he had like 10 rushing touchdowns. So, like, that's that combination of that
Right.
40 that he's talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe then maybe his weight loss can help him get a few rushing
There you go.
touchdowns on the ground.
There you go.
So
Hey
yeah,
man.
definitely.
Hey, I gotta dip out though. I got
Oh yeah,
family waiting
definitely.
on me, man.
I'll go. Yeah, we was just about to wrap up. So go
Yeah.
ahead. Go
I
ahead.
appreciate it, pal. Hey, I'll
All
talk
right.
to you next week, right?
Yeah, definitely for sure.
All right, go Nats.
Peace.
All right, man. Appreciate
All
it.
right.
Bye bye.
All right, y'all. So we were just about to get out of here. As always, it's Benny Boy Juan Gotti. Like, comment, subscribe. Hail to the Washington football team. And it's been a good stream. Thank you for everyone coming through. Make sure you guys turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload and go live again. As always, it's Benny Boy Juan Gotti. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out. Peace.